All right, brethren, I'm here. I'm here. Thank you, brethren, for joining me. Mahalia, Elijah, Hutz, Hutz, Hutz. All right, Brother Dave. All right. Thank you, brethren, for joining me, man. Thank you. Looks like we're going to have a full house tonight. Thank you, brethren, for joining me. My name is Yaquab Ben Yisrael. Welcome to my channel where I'm a brother who's a faithist. I believe in the Creator, always have. I like to try to minister to other faithists. I like to chase the Creator. I believe that this is not all there is. So I do this channel here where I try to talk about the things I know. I try to, I believe that I'm alive and I should try to serve the Creator. I think that it's been proven to me that the best thing that a man can do in life is don't waste it, man. You know, just don't waste it, you know. And I think that the Creator, I think he respects that. If you realize that, if you somehow can get to the point where you can realize that you got an opportunity, and I look at life as an opportunity, although I'm a heavily afflicted brother, I've been beat up pretty good in life, spiritually, mentally, physically, in this reality. But for some reason, it don't make me stop chasing the Creator. It just never. It just, and it's the only thing I never quit at. The only thing that I just could not stop. So the more you go, as every day goes by, for people like me, you getting closer and closer to glory. you get closer and closer to glory. It's really like I believe faith is to really hit the lottery. And I know that sounds redundant. People say that, but of all the things in the earth, man, just speaking for myself, I realize I do this channel, and I do a lot of things wrong. I say things that are all for wrong. But one thing you can never dispute, man, is I try. I try to say what is right. I try to do what is right. I try to glorify the creator and not myself. I believe that everything I've said and done and, that the creator, he went with me. He knew that I was, going to, that he was there right with me. And so, like I said, you keep going day after day. You realize you learn more and more and more. And that's me. So I believe that when you're redeeming the time, you redeem the time. If you can realize that, if you can somehow subscribe to the creator, I think that you done hit the lottery. And if you can do it in sincerity and truth, I think you're sitting on, you know, I just think that there's nothing greater. Just nothing greater. And I found some stuff that I hope I bless y'all with. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it again, man. You know how we live in a reality where some men, they like to hide knowledge. You know what I mean? They don't want you to know where they got it from. They want you to, you know what I mean? They don't want to share it with you. I've seen that where guys they want you to look up to them. And I, 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 I'm sorry to have to say that, man, but it's true. This is really the whole world wants attention, want to uh, a degree of honor and respect and esteem, and I ain't coming down on nobody because of that. I'm the same way, you know. But I don't like to. I believe the opposite when it comes to. I think that if you got some wisdom, some knowledge, and you can share it, man, you should do it. I know the OAHSPE says it talks about how every man is going to speak according to his knowledge. Talks about how every man should operate in his highest light, and to me that means you can share things that you have learned. Now, one of the things that I'm telling you, I just think it's fantastic, man, is with this AI. And there was something the brother said yesterday on me, and I didn't understand him correctly, but now I understand what he was saying. He was saying that AI is the police of the world, and I misunderstood him, but now I understand what he was saying, and he is right, man. And I was saying that when you get an invention, man, when you get and when a man makes something and the government sees how they can manipulate it to exercise more control over the people, brother, you better believe that they're going to do that. They're going to do that and do it in a way that will, I mean, from what I've seen in my reality, it's like when the powers that be, they will exercise, they will, I don't know how to describe what I want to say. Let me see if I can give you an example. Um, this is going to sound weird to say it, but some people, it's like you got a lot of businesses in the world that appeal to people's weaknesses as a way of guaranteeing a customer base. Like liquor or drugs, and so you have those markets because people they have a biological need for these type of things, and that's one way that people they guarantee that they're going to survive. It's kind of like lifting yourself up by jumping on somebody else's back who really necessarily don't want you there. And if we lived in a government that was serious about the reality of the creator, these things would be banned. They would be outlawed. There are countries in Europe that they make genetically modified food. It's illegal. You can't, at least they trying to do a little bit by their people, do right a little bit in that way. not allowing fluoride in their toothpaste. But in America, in the Western Hemisphere, it's all good. It's all good. So I'm just trying to say that we have, it's almost like vampires and people who would take advantage of a person's weaknesses in order for them to prosper so that they can make it. It's called wanting to survive. And I don't know why I'm even bringing this point. I forgot the point that I wanted to make. The point that I wanted to make. I forgot the point. uh, I forgot the point that I wanted to make. I think I was going to go somewhere in the direction of when you have an opportunity to take your reality, take your life, and I think that it's a terrible thing because I think people learn too late. We learn too late. A lot of people that uh, the opportunity that we had to prepare ourselves for our eventual spiritual existence, and some people are able to do that. So I like to try to take part in that. I have this channel here. I like to invite brethren to if they want to share anything. That's why I bought this software because I think that people they want to be heard. From what I can see, people they like to talk and they like to they like to be acknowledged. And so I don't think we have enough of that in the faithless community. And so the creator has allowed me to have this little channel in case you brethren have something. You could have something on your heart or a situation, maybe lose somebody. Or I want it to be a multifaceted channel for faithists. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. And like I said, man, I hope that I think I might have found some things one thing in particular that I want to share that I found, and I got to say it again. I think I started off on this and I got away from it. But AI, the creator, he gave me even yet another way to search the OAHSPE. He gave me even yet another, even faster way to make the whole OAHSPE a file where I could feed it into AI. He gave me a whole nother way. I mean, the hits just keep on coming. And so now I've got like 3/4 of the OAHSPE done. So you can imagine what I do is I just sit there at night, man, and I just go ballistic. If the people in the rooms that I'm fellowshipping in, they'll tell you, I know that their alarms must go off nonstop because they probably turned them off now that I'm in those rooms. Because I start learning things, man. I start sharing them. And here, I'll give you an example. This is one of the rooms that I fellowship in, Brother Omian's room. And, I just won't shut up, man. You know, I mean, I just keep learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. And that's why I've been harping on how to do this AI thing and how to make a file out of the OAHSPE and so that you can learn. So you just see me, just posting and posting and posting and posting and posting and post. So I ain't trying to glorify myself. I'm trying to say that the same is open for you, brethren, too. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I don't have anything to glory in. Ain't nothing I got that wasn't given to me. And it's the same for you. So ain't no room for nobody to brag or say anything in life, even, with the talents that you have. Can't nobody say nothing. Everything we have was given to us. Should make sense. So welcome to the room. Um, I didn't even blow the trumpet. I guess I'll let it go for today. And here's my room on Facebook, where I have a food ministry, and I like to target orphans, disabled, and elderly. And I can certainly be contacted, man, and to help out in the situation. And here's the room that I have that where again, I just try to share from the things that I'm learning, especially now with the new way that I found to learn to speed up the learning. And I can't thank the creator enough because even though I approached him the wrong way, and I was sharing it on video with you, brethren, that I boldly approached him, and I was pretty much demanding that I be given some wisdom on how I can speed up my learning, and he gave it to me. I mean, and now I want to say this too because I learned something. I learned that that's how you hear. To me, now that I think I'm beginning to realize the creator, he's always speaking to you. He's always talking to you, man. I mean, I think that you, brethren, probably know better than I do. You know, a lot of times I'm gonna say something to y'all. I think y'all are ashars watching over me. You know, I just get that vibration off of you, brethren. Now, I ain't trying to flatter nobody, okay? I'm telling the truth. That's why I be looking at y'all sometimes. That I know these brethren are here to watch over me. I think these brethren are probably my ashars. Now, it might sound kooky, and for those of you who don't know, ashars are our guardian angels that they through your life they watch after you. They protect you and they watch after. But ashars ain't assigned to everybody, are they? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you got people who got it horrible, and I mean, look at the people over in the war over there. Way they dying. Do they have ashars too? You know, or is it just fakeness? Why do some people they have it a good life and some people have it horrible? I mean, now I'm just asking a question. Do ashars aren't they assigned to everybody? You know what I mean? I mean, I believe I have an answer to what my question that I'm asking y'all. But in other words, why do others have it bad? Some have it good. I mean, I know free will's got a lot to do with it. I know, I believe that. But I'm just putting it out there in case anybody wanted to discuss it. But I do believe that I know that faith is that do speak about us having guardians and they watch over us all our life, and then when our time is finished, they hand us over to the ASAPs, and from what I see, man, it's all good. I mean, the earth is the worst. From what I think I have learned, the earth is the worst. This place where we are right now, the beast kingdom, I call it the beast kingdom. It's not only the beast kingdom in spirituality, it's the physical beast kingdom in the sense that you see the way people treat each other, the way life, it don't even really mean anything in this reality anymore. We've evolved to that level. You look at the social media and the way that people just disrespect, dishonor, and treat one another. Now, it may not mean too much to you, but to me, that's how I learn about the Creator. I learn about what men could be, either for the evil or for the good. Evil for the evil, for the good. And what will happen when the fear of the Lord is not in, when it's not in, when it's not in the world. And I'm sorry to say, man, but we're in a situation of steady decline, you know? And I'm going to read something. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to that right now. I was going to show some things in my room. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that real quick because I wanted to share something. Here's the thing for the Bible study tomorrow. Do that real quick. Stop the screen if you want to look at it. And I found something that I want to read from the OAHSPE. And I'm going to, it's good. It's good to, what I'm going to read to, from time to time, it's good to read verses like what I'm going to read because it helps to keep that balance of, love and respect for the Creator. Because I think sometimes I'll just speak for myself. You can look at the Creator one way, like, everything's all right. You can do anything you want and, it's all good. and forget about, hey, look, don't slip, don't fall asleep. You got to stay on your toes. And you talking about the Creator. Now let me see if I can get through a couple of verses. Then I want to go to that thing that I want to read, and I think it's in the first book of God. It's not the reading, but something that I found that it helped you to stay up. It helped you to stay up, stay on your toes, man. Don't fall asleep. Now here's something real quick I thought was interesting. Let me see if I even want to focus on it. There's some verse I posted where I want to. Okay, here, check this out. Check this out. I think this is it. Here's something I found in the OAHSPE. Actually, this is the first book of God, but let me see if this is it. It says, "Mortal words cannot convince you." Okay, so I'm jumping in the middle of thought here. If somebody is talking to, his name is Hog. He was the son of Utib and who else? Somebody else who I think Brahma. He was progenitor of the Brahma, what they call the Brahmin religion now. But this was talking about the original sources, the progenitors, and it was a conversation taking place here. And I'm jumping in the middle here. It says, "Mortal words cannot convince you, nor can the words of the Spirit." So far as the spiritual realm, that's what was being discussed here. It says, "Behold, I will show you a friend." Now, this is, I think, an angel talking to. His name is Hog, Hog. Hog is disputing the spiritual reality. So the angel is talking to him, and then he gets to a point. He says, "Mortal words cannot convince you, nor can the words of a spirit." He said, "Behold, I will show you a friend of yours who is dead." With that, the angel showed the spirit of Hog's friend who was dead. And the man's name was Araakta. And so Hog said to him, and he's showing some speculation still. He says, "You're an actual counterpart of him that I knew." He's not even saying, he's not even acknowledging it's the spirit of his friend. He says, "You're an actual counterpart of him I knew. You're not the real one, you're a counterpart." He says, "What is your name?" The spirit answered, "Araakta. I tell you, O Hog, these things are true. I am the spirit of your friend. Yes, I am. That very friend." Hog said, "Where do you dwell? Where have you been? Are you happy? Have you visited all the heavens?" And then this is a footnote, 807, where it says this refers to their radiant spiritual life. It's talk, because down here we're going to read it. So going on, it said, the spirit answered him saying, "I live around here on the earth, even as before death. I am happy. The glory of my present world surpasses the earth. I have not visited the highest heavens. I am as yet only in the first resurrection." He's in the first resurrection, and he's telling us that the first resurrection, where our relatives who have passed on, a lot of them are, that the glory of where they are, there ain't no comparison with the earth. There ain't no comparison with the earth. This is what our relatives would tell us. See, read it again. This is what our relatives would tell us. See, they would say, my mom would say, she would say, "Curtis, I live around here on the earth, even as before death. I am happy. The glory of my present world surpasses the earth. I have not visited the highest heavens. I'm as yet only in this first resurrection. Up above us, there are heavens where all the people are gods and goddesses. I cannot go there. They are, well, I don't want to say that about my mom, but it says here in the scripture that Hog, the friend of Hog, he said, "I cannot go there." He said, "They are too white." Now, that's why we had this footnote here. It says the word white, it refers to the radiant spiritual light, not to skin color. Okay. So I wanted to share this. because I never saw this before. Number one, well, like a lot of things in the OAHSPE. But I love this is the type of thing you read this, it bless your soul. You know, when you have a bad day, when you conspiracy, I can say that they are surely on my behind. You know, I like to say no, they're not, but I tell you, I perceive it's the same way with you, brethren. I mean, the fight for my mind is a daily struggle, man. It's a daily. I mean, it's a real knockdown, drag out. You know, and it's even worse now for me because with the new way of studying, it's hard for me to get out of my apartment. Get out there and look at nature and breathe the air and talk to the creation and fellowship with the grass and the trees and all that like you're supposed to do. It's like the new way of studying. It's very addictive, man. I'm telling you. I know that's not the will of the creator. He even says at one place that that's not his will to hide yourself from the sun. So it's like you have to have, or not you, but me, and maybe you can learn off of what I'm saying, is that discipline is balance. See, a Libra thing for you Libras out there, our thing is balance. Our thing is to bring balance to the world, to talk about it, to show where there's an imbalance, how to create a balance. And we're sensitive to the various imbalances in the world. That's our thing. And our thing is to try to correct it. So that's our marching orders. And so I'm sharing that one thing that I see that can discombobulate you is when you're under that imbalance, man. Okay, that's cool. You're inside, but it's good to get outside too. Get outside, And so I have a discipline. I need to stop. I mean, the change my habits. I mean, it's just really, for someone who used to hate being in school, never was academic. And then when I began my chase for the creator, I just could not keep my nose out of a book. And now with the OAHSPE, and the beautiful thing is it just make you constantly stay in a state of thanks. When you keep getting overstanding, you keep getting knowledge. And, let me see. Now I'm getting a whole bunch of things in my mind now that Spirit want me to do. Now, okay, now I showed this verse. I wanted to go over some other verses that I found, but I wanted to read from the first book of Gods. I wanted to read something I found that I was reading this, man. I said, you know what, this is good. This is a good thing to bring out because this is, we don't, at least for me, I don't hear too much of this type of flavor coming out of the OAHSPE. So I think it's a good thing to share so that we stay on our P's and Q's, man. And the creator, he says some things in here. You, brother, may be familiar with it. And I have to be honest. It's good to read stuff like what I'm getting ready to read here because you need that healthy respect for the creator. Not just think that you can get out there in the street and freak out any old kind of way you want to. Walking down the street any old kind of way, So I came across this. So I want to share it. I'm going to try to get through it so that I can make the reading also. The reading, I think, is also from this book. So I'll be able to just go from right from one to another. And so this is from the first book, chapter 17, the first book. Let me go ahead and see if I can get through it. May the Creator bless the reading of His Word. And also, you know what? In case somebody wants to interrupt me or you want to stop you want to come on, let me put the link in the room. If you have a word you want to share or anything that you want to do, there's a link right there. So you can, All right. Now, may the Creator bless the reading of the word. This is chapter 17, first book of God. It says, the next morning, and I forgot to say this too. I forgot with the AI thing, I've almost got the whole OAHSPE finished. The whole OAHSPE finished. So hopefully I can really bring things out to bless you, brethren. That's my desire. And so I've almost got that whole book finished to where I got it chopped up. I could feed it right into AI and then just get all kinds of things. But like the brother pointed out, you got to watch AI. It's like he pointed out some issues the other day. That was good. It's good. It's a good, a good, uh, that was a good catch. Although I've seen some too where it can be, you have to watch it. You have to, Anyway, here it is, chapter 17, first book of God. It says, verse 1, may the Creator bless the reading of his word. He says, the next morning at sunrise, Jehovah came again, speaking through Brahman, saying, as I prepared a way for my voice, be wise in laboring to show this light to all my people. Yet do not take sorrow to your souls for the latest born hog. Now, this is talking to YouTube and let me see, who was YouTube's consort? We're gonna find out. Just hang with me. We're gonna, I'm getting in the middle here, but it says, as I prepared a way for my voice, be wise in laboring to show this light to all my peoples. Yet do not take sorrow to your souls for the latest born hog, who cannot see this light, for he is also my keeping, and his wisdom shall be the glory of my earth. For is not all fact interpreted by each and every man from the light of his own standing place? Meaning we all are subject to our own opinions based on how we what's a good word for interpret, how we resonate with the events and situations of our life, how we there's a word I really want, I can't find it. It says, for is not all fact interpreted by each and every man from the light of his own standing place? He says, in which error comes into the world by the darkness of men, and not perceiving rightly the things I have created. Behold, one man sees a forest with reference to its value in logs, another for splints, for mats, another for shade to lie in, another for its solitude. They all see by what dwells in them, but they see through their own particular windows. Hey, Yogi, brother, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for checking in, brother. It's good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so if we read the footnote, it says that everybody basically sees everything from their vantage point. The parallax view. When you see things that another person may not be able to see, and you draw a conclusion. It says, verse 4, consider then the injustice of the man who says, you shall see as I see, hear as I hear, or who says, I have proven this to be true, and that to be untrue, or who says, behold, we are many witnesses, and we attest. While Jehovah was speaking so, his angel appeared and stood in the doorway of the hut, and all except Hog looked and saw the angel and witnessed the color of the angel's hair and eyes and the clothes he wore, and they pointed, saying in a whisper, behold, an angel of heaven. Then Jehovah spoke, illustrating, saying, while no one has yet spoken, let one at a time privately describe to Hog the appearance of my angel in the doorway. Accordingly, they all except Brahma told Hog all that pertained to the angel and their accounts accorded with one another. And Jehovah said, speak, my son Hog. Hog said, to whom shall I speak? For whether you are my very father or in truth the creator, I do not know. God said, who do you say the creator is? Hog said, even as the wind, the great void, without person, shape, or sense. God said to him, for which reason I say to you, because of the unbelief of your father and your mother. While you were in your mother's womb, you are as you are. This they have attested to you thousands of times since you were weaned, and they have also attested to you as often that during the bringing forth of your brothers, they were in the fullness of faith of Jehovah. So, if I'm not mistaken, he's saying that it's because your parents' unbelief. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong, but it sounds like he's saying he he's the only one of his brothers who doesn't believe or cannot see the Creator because it was somehow in it was somehow uh, what's a good word for instilled in him spiritually. It sounds like what he's saying. It says, you were born of the earth and can only see with earthly eyes, hear only with earthly ears, and reason only with earthly reason. Hog said, then in truth, I shall go down to earth, and there shall be no more of me. But these, my sweet brothers, and this goddess and this God, my very father and mother, shall inherit everlasting life. God said, I will place 2 eggs before you, with the birds within them nearly hatched. Now, with one, you shall open the shell a little, and the young bird sees out. But with the other, you leave closed. Would you say one bird will have much advantage over the other when they are hatched? Or that one shall not live because, in fact, it did not see through the shell? Such then is the way to everlasting life of your darkness. I will make light that will reach millions. Your sacrifice is the sacrifice of a very God among gods. Now, there's something heavy here, and it sounds like he leaves him without spiritual sight for a reason. And it's Hog, talking about Hog here. He's without spiritual sight while everybody has got it. He wants to know why that's the case. And then verse 12 says, Hog said, because of your great wisdom, I fear to speak in your presence. But your words come out of the mouth of him who is the sweetest and holiest of created beings. Therefore, I take courage in my argument. He says, now behold, they have all described the angel in the door, and their descriptions are alike in all particulars. And the wisdom of your words goes to the bottom of things, not like the words of a man, but faultlessly. You have made me see that I am bound as if with iron hoops. You must go my way all my days. I read that wrong. It says, you have made me see that I am bound as with iron hoops. Now, this is somebody, he can't seem to see what other people are seeing. He wants to see what other people are seeing. He likens his condition to basically being like in solitary confinement. And so he says, you have made me to see that I am bound as if with iron hoops and must go my way all my days. And he's basically saying that's unfair. But he says, I do not complain against this, for I perceive it is not within my judgment to know even myself as to what is good for me and not good for me. However, you have shown me this. I was molded as I am as I am. If I have faults, they are not my faults. Neither are they my father's nor my mother's, for the cause of their unbelief at that time did not lie with themselves, but with you. So he's given his logical, he's given a logical rebuttal to the inquiring as to why he's made the way he is and others are not. And then it says, God said, Vedi shall also write down your words. The glory and the wisdom of the earth shall come out of your mouth. The manner of my edifice, which is the footnote says his house, foundation, structure, building, shall be shown to the inhabitants of the earth. You have seen the king's temple and how he builds it. For the fine posts he sends his best hewers into the forest, and they chose the straightest and strongest trees to fall and hew them, or the strongest trees and fall them and hew them, and polish and engrave them. And the posts are set up in the front as strength and ornament. But for the walls of the temple, the king does not call for his best hewers, but the choppers, and they also go into the forest. They fetch logs, not the straightest and handsomest, but whatever their axes come upon. And their timbers are put in the walls with mortar and wits. 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 Wits are a width. A width is a supple twig like a willow, flexible enough to be used like string or twine for lashing together things such as timbers. It says, and the temple, it says, their timbers are put in the walls with mortar and whips, and the temple is completed to the king's will. Jehovah said, my heavenly edifice is like this also. I do not send winter to please one man, nor summer, nor the rain. I consider in what way I shall induce men to raise up one another and be considerate. So it kind of seems like the Creator is saying, I made you the way you are so that I can use you. I'm going to use your arguments so that when they start reading this account, they're going to know why I do the things I do. That's why I made you to be in the unseen, unhearing, even though others are hearing and seeing, so that I can use you and this account for people who are generations down the road. And so now here we are reading this in this room. This sounds like what he's driving at. Let me read it again. He said, Job, said, my heavenly edifice is like this also. I do not see, it's like it's like, if I'm not mistaken, he's describing those who are firstborn, like they're like trees, and the chopper, he goes in, cuts them down. There's, they're all around, but he saves a more, what's a good word for unique brother or sister for a later work. And so I think what he's saying is he's describing why there are brethren who come in at a certain time, and then there are brethren who come in afterwards. Because he's building an edifice. Now, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he's showing the beauty. He's using this guy Hog here, and his unbelief to teach us a lesson. He says, Jehovah said, my heavenly edifice is like this also. I do not send winter to please one man, nor summer, nor the rain. I consider in what way I shall induce men to raise up one another, to be considerate. Thus through me, your father, mother, brothers, and all faiths that come after these, my doctrine shall learn to consider the unbelief of mortals. See? And the impossibility of one man seeing through another man's eyes. And it reminds me of that brother said in that Bible study. He was an ordained faithist, and he said he learned one lesson he learned. He cannot share or teach anything to anybody. In other words, like what we're reading right here, to get you to see the light, unless it is in you. And from what I can see, all men are going to come into the knowledge of the light of the Creator. It's just like what the Creator is saying. Here it's a process. Some brethren come in, they're the ones, the choppers. They go into the forest. They're all around. They just start chopping trees down. And then they find those that were fitted for a certain purpose. And he goes and gets them. So we don't have to look down on brethren. They can't see it, can't receive it, don't, this or that. Their time is not yet, but their time is coming. You see? That's, correct me if I'm wrong, man. The Creator, he's showing his beauty. He don't forget anybody. He says, verse 16, for as I raised you up in a house of love for one another, so will I show the wisdom of disbelief and its necessity on the earth. That's why he says that this guy Hog here, his sacrifice was as one of the gods. And that he was being used for a greater purpose. He was used to come up under unbelief, and so that the world could see the Creator. He could glorify the Creator, So it says in verse 17, let me see, Dave says, During the time Hog was born, Earth was in a period of G. Oh, how do you like that? Darkness. GA is like a darkness, a time of ignorance. And Brahma and YouTube called creator Eolin instead of Eoa. Yeah, I noticed that. So that was the time of GA that he was born. How do you like that? It was a time of darkness. It was a time of darkness. I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're in a time of darkness right now, aren't we? Would you say that it's being lifted very slightly? Would you say that, would anyone in the room say that? I mean, I haven't reached that level of understanding yet in the OAHSPE about the the Gia. I haven't gotten there yet. I'll get there. So far as how to prophesy and look at the planets, I'll get there. But I don't know right now. So far as the cycles, if you ask me, I would say I would perceive that we're in a time at the end of a Gia or Ag, the darkness, because the light of this word, the Creator, He said that it was going to spread. He said it's going to spread steadily. It was going to increase. He said our numbers were going to grow year after year. But would you say that we're in a time of overlap of an AG, a GIA right now, where it's being slowly lifted? I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, you know? But it says, verse 17, the foremost of all lessons, the foremost of all lessons is that all men, see, look at that, all men shall have liberty. And so again, man, it's like, well, let me read it. It says that foremost of all lessons is that, look at that, all men, all men, all men, all men shall have liberty. All men, all men, all men. See, that's the beauty right there. It says, and no man's judgment shall be binding on another's, for all do not see alike, nor can they understand alike. See the beauty of the Creator? So we don't have to, we can, brethren who can't receive it right now, the Creator, He said, they're for a special purpose. They're to teach us a lesson, you know? So now we can change our mind. We don't have to look down on nobody. We can just know that their time is not yet, but it will be. And they're going to be a source of a great harvest, probably as greater as Bacchus. Now, that's my understanding. I think we need to see that the Creator is using Hog to let us know that we got to see what the contrast is between the world and Bacchus. And then let me see. Elijah says, I'd say we were coming out of darkness. Yeah, I'm with you, brother. Steadily. Yeah, I'm with you. A season of light. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. There's a saying in the world that it gets darkest just before the light. And I look at the world. I'm not finished with this reading here. I'm just expounding real quick that that I always talk about the situation in the world, and I try not to do it as much on the channel here, and but the situation is pretty dire. Then Elijah says the children's children will be Iesu, Christ, in the time of the rise of the communities of the faiths. Oh, wow, that is deep right there. That's pretty deep, brother. That is pretty deep. That makes a lot of sense, too. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, man. I have to chew on that for a second. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, man. So verse 18 says, so you shall be as considerate to those who do not see my light or my person as you are to those who are born in Suis. For they are of the same flesh and blood. They have their spirit from the same Creator. See there? So we don't, I love it, man. I love it. You know, man, I think of that one brother used to come in a lot. And when I was sharing the third testament, it was all good with them when I was sharing the third testament. Then when I came into the OAHSPE, he cut me right off. He tried to explain himself right when I started coming into the OAHSPE in January of this year. And basically, it was a farewell phone call. And I knew enough to tell him that, brother, look, your time is just not now, but you'll get there. So the main thing is just don't have no animosity towards me or anybody else. You know, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Remember Ecclesiastes? So give the creator a chance, man. Don't sell him short. He got to just leave him alone, you know, and he'll work it out. And then me and the brother had to part ways. It was a terrible thing, but I know it's only temporary. And then verse 19, for in the evidence of the past and present, it is before you that men endeavor to enforce their doctrines by saying, behold the word of Ramazdi, the word of God. He has spoken thus. I am his priest. Bow down your heads. You know, I'm sorry to say this. You brethren know what I'm going to get to, right? You know who's famous for making brethren bow to them, right? Do I have to say it? On video? How they make some people bow. I mean, literally with their face to the ground. Remember? Isaiah, the sons of them that afflicted thee shall come bending before thee. Isaiah 45, is it? You brother know what I'm talking about, right? Verbatim what the OAHSPE is saying that men would do. It's amazing. The detail, man, is just astounding. And then the footnote says a sign of submission and obedience. Bow down your heads. That's religion. That's religion. Instead, man shall not bow down, but hold up his head and rejoice. Those who seek to enforce me are my enemies. See there? Force the creator on people. He said, you're his enemy, even religion, because they basically are, you know, spiritual, you know, proclaim spirituality, and they point to the common creator, but they use idolatry and deity worship, and they enforce it on people. And the creator said, you're my enemy. You and Romanius are my only enemies. And Romanius are the tetrarchs, the negative mindsets that men have to do battle with in this reality. That's the only time I've seen here where the creator calls somebody his enemy. Religion, because you force people, and the tetrarchs, the negative mindsets. Man, I really like what you said, Elijah. I like that, man. It's in my mind even as I'm reading. I really like that. The children's children will be Iesu, Christ, in the time of the rise of the communities of the faithless. That really strikes me, man. I can really hear that. I can really, you know, it just explains so much. It says, verse 21, nor have I said of this man or that. Hear him, for he is the truth. Shall the creator make look at the creator, man. He says, shall the creator make one greater than himself and thus cut himself off? See? Because in the world, man, the world. He talking all about the world, you know. That's a terrible, it's a crying shame, man, you know, to take authority over another man, you know, to find a way to take authority over another brother, you know. That's where we live. The earth is like, as soon as men get a little knowledge, man, they go run and start taking authority over people. And then before you know it, down the road, they rich, they in a big church, they living lavishly, and the people are giving 20%. The brother's buying a jet, and he got a jet all over the world and shared his word. You don't know, you just deceiving yourself. You deceiving yourself, man. You're deceiving yourself. And I'm going to get to that. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to read this, so that, you know, to let you know, man, you know what? If you're going to live in this life, just don't deceive yourself, man. Don't, because it's going to come back to you. The Creator promise is going to come back to you. It's going to come back to you. All right? You, like the commercial said, you pay me now, you pay me later, man. But you're going to pay me. So let's go ahead and pay him now by humbling ourselves and just seeking to be a light to our brethren. It says, and yet kings and priests of this day assume to be truth in Ahua, God's name. And the mothers and fathers of many have become discouraged because of their great hardships. And they bring forth hearers who have eyes but do not see, and ears but do not hear. God said, in the days of Zarathustra, I came to deliver those who had faith but were in bondage. Today, I come to teach men how to bring forth hearers with eyes to see, spiritual things with ears to hear them, and with liberty to all men. And I come to prove three worlds to men. First, the earth and its fullness. Second, the intermediate world of spirits, where all shall sojourn for a season. See, our departed, they're there right now. They're in the spirit world. They're going to hang out there for a little while. They're going to go to school. They're going to learn to elevate. They're going to hang out in atmosphere for a while. If I'm not mistaken, man, And then it says, in third, the Nirvanian world beyond Shinvat, where the pure and wise unending paradise awaits. See, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. The Chinvat, that's that. Remember the video we did on Chinvat? That's the border. That's the border, brother. Once you cross that border, it's good even before then. So that a lot of spirits don't even care nothing about no Nirvana. They love it. They love where they are. Now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, man. Atmosphere, where they are right now. Don't even care nothing about Chinvat or Nirvana. How do you like that? Now, don't get me wrong, though. See, because now I think I'm getting ready to get into the part that I wanted to read. I forget exactly where I went, but the part that I wanted to read, he talks about, let me see, he talks about like a recompense, man. These are the things people don't like to hear about. Again, here's that balance. I think this is it. Matter of fact, let me check it out real quick. I don't know. I can't remember. I think this is the part that I want to get to. If not, I'll cover it tomorrow. Matter of fact, time for the reading. So I'm going to just keep going. And I think I'll pick up what I was going to read. Maybe pick up on it tomorrow. But let's keep going here. Chapter 18, first book of God. It says, in the next morning at sunrise, God spoke to Brahma, saying, consider the fruit of the earth and the pasturage in the fields. The male and the female feed on the same grass, yet one yields milk and the other is for the yoke. Neither can any man change these creations. What man shall say to another, feed on this or that? What man shall say to another, feed on this or on that? But they take those who are born in darkness and raise up priests. I can't. Let me stop for a second. Let me see. Let me chew on that for a second. Okay, I don't get it. Let me keep going. It says the food for the flesh or even fasting cannot bring suus. The air warms the earth, and not the earth the air. The spirit enlightens the corporeal part, not the corporeal part the spirit. Light is the freedom of all to know this. Light is the freedom of all. To know this is the beginning of wisdom. Nevertheless, without suffering, some who are bound would not know they are bound, or if knowing, would not desire freedom. How do you like that, man? The reason for your affliction. So that you can know you're afflicted and desire greater for yourself. At this time, Hog, the youngest born, was greatly moved, and so God bade him speak. Hog said, "Oh, if only I could believe these things. Oh, if only I could see. Oh, if only I could hear. Oh, the misery of my darkness. Oh, the horrors of the suspense of not knowing a matter. Bitter is my soul and full of anguish. Oh, the madness of this hour upon me. How, O wisdom, did you forget the time of my begetting, to let me spring up as an offensive weed in such a garden of paradise? In other words, why did you make me this way?" And then it says, and he bowed his head and wept. And then Judith, his mother, who had brought him forth, spoke, saying, "I perceive your light, O father, but I cannot bear it." She knows what's going on with Hog, but she's a mother and it's tearing her apart. She says, "You unlocked my members to bring forth these 7 gods. Never has a woman on the whole earth brought forth so rich a harvest. But yet my soul is tortured to the very center. Oh, if only the light of my soul could be transferred to this God among men." She also wept, talking about her son Hog. Now spoke Say it, saying, "I am nearest born to you. Oh, my sweet brother Hog, no love lies as fondly to you as mine. And as to you, Utip, my goddess mother, you have most wisely named me abundant. For in our love, Ramasi has provided us equal to the highest of gods, because I have witnessed that this purest and best of brothers cannot see spiritually. My soul is mellowed toward all the world. Yes, my outstretched arm shall receive the darkness of men, and my soul shall go up in praise of Ramasi forever. So he knows that his how he's going to be used, that he's going to be learned of. He's going to be through the Brahmins that they were going to, before they became corrupted, they were going to point men to the Creator. But he's grieving for the state of his brother, who at the time cannot see. And then it says, Uz spoke next. He said, "Most wisely, I am named Space. For it has pleased Ormasi is the Creator, to show me the breadth of his creations. What belief or unbelief is there he has not provided a glory for it? Because my sweet brother, Hog, has been thus blessed with darkness, he shall be guardian to me in earthly wisdom all my days. In my faith, I know it is well with him. Yet in my love, I wish he could see as we all see." See? So we get an idea of how they're all grieving for Hog. Because Hog can't see spiritually right now. But they know he will be. But the pain of his temporary condition is tearing them apart. But the Creator's will is being done. And even they can't, I think they can see his will and what he is doing with Hog. But it's still painful, man. Just like, you would want, even if you knew if it was for the better of your family, you had to see them go through some type of, you know, affliction. Even though afterwards it's going to go better for them, you don't even want to see it, you know. And so that's the situation they're in right now. And then verse 11, it says, "Then spoke Gideon." whose name signified time. So you can see what the Creator is doing here through these names. Time, space, abundant. So we got time, space. We got whose name me abundant, whose name me space, whose name me time. Then spoke Gideon, whose name signified time. He said, behold, I am the fourth born, and as it were in the middle, whose love is so delightfully hedged around as mine, whose love is so delightfully hedged around as mine is, meaning he's got older and younger brethren and sisters. He says, who is so surrounded by the light of heaven and earth, who is so surrounded by the light of heaven and earth? At one end, behold, my Father, God, among men, the very voice of heaven and earth, interpreter of the Creator's words. At the other end, the best, sweetest brother ever created on the earth, with all the wisdom of men and angels. Oh, the glory of this hour. Oh, the delight to be with these gods and with you, the goddess among women. So then, Bus, the second born, spoke and said, how shall I glorify you, O OAHSPE, O Creator, and not glorify myself? I am full to overflowing with delight for the love of these, my brothers and Father, very gods. But for you, I have more than love. I perceive through my own sweet mother how the different castes of men are made. Oh, mother, how very near the Creator dwells such a righteous woman. Now, let me chew on that for a second. She says, see, this is what you call the parallax view, what the Creator's doing now. Parallax, let's look for a second, okay? Let's look. Let's learn. What is the definition of parallax view? Okay. So it means there are multiple, all right, they want to make it confusing. Let's look at this. Let's see if this helps. Why can't they just, what is the meaning of parallax view? Okay, let's see. Why can't you just make it simple, man? We're going to have to use this anyway. It says the apparent displacement or the difference in apparent direction of an object is seen from two different points, not in a straight line with the object. Okay, now, Yakov's definition is that two people seeing a object or a situation from different points of view. Okay, I thought that they were going to explain it way, way better, but that's from Yakov's dictionary. Okay, and so the Creator, he's letting us look at what the Creator is doing to their brother from the different points of view of his brothers and sisters and his parents. That's what's going on here. And then 13, Weish said, to keep one's thoughts and desires ever high, would this not deliver the world? Beatty said, to know the truth and ever speak it in love and kindness, would not this deliver the world and establish the Creator or OAHSPE? Verse 14, Brahma now woke from his trance, and he spoke, saying, to find the Father, to know him, to reveal him, these are all and for his glory only. Now God spoke again, saying, wiser than all the rest is Brahma. Who of you all has not spoken of himself or herself? Who has uttered a word of praise or thanks and left out self? Judge then what is required of men, so that my spirit may find utterance through their lips. He says, then the voice departed for that day, and the angel of God appeared in the door, so all except Hod could see him. The angel said, come at midnight, sit in the sacred circle in the grove of Ebon, so that you may see the spirits of the intermediate world. We will appear in Sardis. Hod did not hear the angel, but the others told him what the angel said. Accordingly, at midnight, they sat in the circle in the grove of Hebron. Chapter 19. It says, and the angel of God appeared in the middle of the circle in Sardis and talked with them face to face. Hogue said to the angel, in truth, I know you are not mortal, and yet you have the semblance of, well, now he has Sargis. It seems like he has Sargis. Now he can see, it looks like. Let's read. And the angel of God appeared in the middle of the circle in Sargis. Now, Sargis is where you can see spiritual things. You can see it, you can hear it. It says, and the angel of God appeared in the middle of the circle in Sargis and talked with them face to face. And Hogue said to the angel, in truth, I know that you are not mortal, yet you have the semblance of flesh, limbs, arms, and an actual body, having clothes that look just like mortal clothes. Now, I tell you face to face, I believe you are no angel of the dead, but actually a reflected self-substance, produced out of the substance of my Father. So he sounds like he's got Sargis now, and he's still skeptical. He said, can you prove otherwise? The angel answered, saying, mortal words cannot convince you, nor can words of a spirit. Behold, I will show you a friend. Okay, this is what I read in my room. So Hogg is just skeptic to the core, man. You know, he's just a doubting Thomas to the core, man. He sees an angel, he sees in Sargis, he obviously doesn't know it, and he still wants proof of something that he can really see. It says, verse 3, mortal words cannot, the angel answered, saying, mortal words cannot convince you, nor can the words of the Spirit. Behold, I will show you a friend of yours who is dead. With that, the angel showed the spirit of Hogg's friend who was dead, and the man's name was Akta. And so Hogg said to him, you are an actual counterpart of him I knew. What is your name? The spirit answered, Akta. I tell you, O Hogg, these things are true. I'm the spirit of your friend. Yes, I am that very friend. Hogg said, where do you dwell? Where have you been? Are you happy? Have you visited all the heavens? We see Dave says, okay, thanks, Dave. Sargis is a physically visible spirit, not suis. So it's not F-U-I-S. He's able to see Sargis. He's able to see a spirit in its physicality, but it is not a corporal spirit. Dave says Sargis is a physically visible spirit being which all will see with their physical eyes. Got it. Thank you. So I imagine that's what's going to happen in this era, that we are going to have Sargis visited on us, the Betas, meaning what Dave is saying here, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if we're going to have suis. Well, wait a minute. So my question is, let me see, Sargis is a physically visible spirit. We all will see it, or physical eyes. Now, what's the difference between Sargis and suis? Well, let me look at what the difference is real quick. Unless Dave beats me to it. Let me go to the glossary and look at the difference between Sargis and suis. Sargis and suis. All right. Let me see. This is not. Let's see. Sargis and suis. Now, okay, let me go back up. And let's look at what the difference is between Sargis and suis. Sargis and suis. Okay, now suis, let's see what that means real quick. I forget. suis. Okay, now suis is in general the ability to perceive spiritually. Sometimes used more narrowly is the ability to perceive and or see or hear angels in their natural condition. Spiritual comprehension, clairaudience and clairvoyance. A person who can see with the eyes closed or one who can hear angel voices. Not imaginary, but that which can be proved by experiment. One who has clairvoyance is also called a seer. Okay, so we have suis is the ability to perceive spiritually, and sometimes used more narrowly is the ability to perceive and or see and or hear angels. Okay, now sargus is materialized angel or person. I should have made the words bigger here. Okay, so sargus is both a materialized angel or a person in whose presence the angels take on the semblance of mortal forms. A materialized angel. So Hog, he had sargus, but he did not have suis. Okay? He did not have the ability to perceive spiritually. Okay, to make a long story short. So now let's go back. Hog sees his friend in the spirit. He doesn't believe it's him. He starts questioning. He says, "Where do you dwell? Where have you been? Are you happy? Have you visited the heavens?" And then his friend, "Oh, come on, it won't let me share it. Share the screen. There we go. All right." And then let's see. I got to shorten. Come on. Okay, so let me read it again because I wasn't sharing the screen. It says, "Now Hog's friend, he doesn't believe in the afterlife, so they show him the spirit of his friend who passed on. Hog is talking with him. He said, the spirit says to Hog, he says, 'Oh, Hog, these things are true. I am the spirit of your friend. Yes, I am that very friend.' Hog said, 'Where do you dwell? Where have you been? Are you happy? Have you visited all the heavens?' The spirit answered him, saying, 'I live around here on the earth, even as before death. I'm here on the earth, man. See? Our relatives are, well, some of us, depending on how long they've been gone, my parents would still be on the earth. I live around here on the earth, even as before death. I am happy. I am happy. The glory of my present world surpasses the earth. It's better where I am than where you are. We cry for you. We weep for you. Where you are." He said, "I have not visited the highest heavens. I am yet only in the first resurrection." He's learning. He's in the first resurrection. He's learning to work as a team with other brethren to make the second resurrection. And then elevate even higher than that. And that's the third resurrection. And then after that, it's the bridge of Chinbat, brother, to Nirvana. We all want to cross that one, brother. It says, "Up above us, there are heavens where all the people are gods and goddesses. I cannot go there. They are too white." The spirit then disappeared. And now that's the one where it's not talking about skin color. The radiance was too much, man. In the upper heavens, you know, I cannot go there. They are too white. The spirit then disappeared, and Hogg said, I saw what I saw and heard what I heard, yet I do not believe that I have seen a spirit nor heard one. Wow. A spirit must by reason be thin, subtle, and air-like. So he's got his own idea. He's got a one-track mind. He's got a one-track mind. Then the angel of God took Hogg and knocked the hell out of him. No. It said, then the angel of God spoke, saying, how shall I please this man? Oh, man. How shall I please this man? Oh, man. That's funny. Oh, Ormazzi. This morning I showed myself in the door of the hut, thin and subtle and air-like, and he did not see or hear me. Wow. Who can find a way to open this man's soul to your wisdom, O Ormazdi? Now Judas spoke, saying, great is the glory of your angel, O Ormazdi. Heavenly are the spirits of the dead. Welcome, O you angels of heaven. Then Weish spoke, saying, even the lowest of heavens have a great glory. How do you like that? Even the lowest of the heavens have a great glory. See, from what I can understand, that'll make a man repent. That'll legislate, that'll turn him from the evil to the desire to be and do what is right. Remember when the Ethereal gods came down to Ahura, or his gods that were under him, and they gave him a show of power, wisdom, and glory? And they bum rushed the angels, man, wanting to make the wanting to go to the I think it was the they wanted to join the Ethereal uh, gods and goddesses. I think I'm saying or recounting it wrong. It was just an account, and I forget where the creator he sent he gathered some of the sub gods of I think Ahura, and he told his Ethereal gods to give him a show of the upper realms in order to reverse the downward slide they were going down. And they hadn't even finished the first show, and all the sub gods and their subjects, their slaves, they bum rushed them. It made it sound like they bum rushed the gods and angels that was putting on the show, wanting to be a part of the resurrection they were a part of. Even the lowest of heavens has a great glory. Oh, what delight it would be to dwell in such a paradise. Next, Luce spoke, saying, such a wisdom and truth. What are your kingdoms, O Father? What when even the first heaven has such glory? So it's like, how can you top the first heaven? How can you top that, Heavenly Father? And then Vidi says, truth is your mightiest work, O Almighty. Gittim said, because I've lived to see these things, I will proclaim your wonders, O Almighty, for as long as I live. Uz said, you have framed your world so wisely, O Almighty, that even your lowest of angels are the delight of my soul. Next spoke, say it. And he said, give us of your abundance, O Almighty. Open wide the gates of the lower heavens. I will take your angels into my arms and rejoice forever. Brahman then came out of his trance, though he had heard and seen all. He said, whoever comes that can make me better, show me how most to benefit your world. Show me how most to benefit your world. Him, O Ormansdi, send to me. And lo, Brahman was answered first of all. First of all. And lo, Brahman was answered first of all. A light, brightened sun stood in the middle of the circle. It was higher than the clouds and displayed a staff, on which was a banner of gold and silver, and on the banner stars clustered to spell the words love, wisdom, and power. Presently the scene changed, and the angel of God said, Who spoke? The angel of God said, He who spoke last, Brahma, has been answered first because his words reached to the fountainhead. Whenever you send your prayers, you are answered from there. Now, let's see what the footnote says. If that is the focus of your prayer, it determines the place which your response comes. The focus of your prayer determines the place from which your response comes. That makes sense. Is it carnal? Is it spiritual? So with that in mind, I will now open the gates of the lower heavens. You shall witness what you may. So let's look at what Brahman prayed, because his prayer was answered first. It said, Brahman then came out of his trance, though he had heard and seen all. He said, Whoever comes that can make me better and show me how to most benefit your world, him or Madsdi send to me. And that was answered first, that prayer. So his desire was answered first because it was esteemed more than the others. And his desire was for him to be made better so that he could serve better. And so we read down here, his was answered first. His prayer. It says, With that in mind, I will now open the gates of the lower heavens, and you shall witness what you may. The angel withdrew all surrounding light so that the great darkness came upon the circle. Presently, you'd have started, as if somewhat brightened. Then Booth sprang up, saying, What was that? And then another started, till presently all except Brahma and Hogue were wild and startled, whispering, What do my eyes behold? Oh, that foul smell. Oh, that vulgar touch. And then one screamed and another until all broke and fled, screaming and crying out in fear and distress, flying into the darkness of the grove, frantic, almost dead with fear. Hogg did not run, saw nothing to fear, heard nothing to dread, felt nothing to make him ashamed. And his father Brahma did not run, was not afraid, and the two called to the rest, pleaded, coaxed, and called in vain, could not stop them, could not find them in the darkness. They returned to the hut. Brahma and Hogue saw the torches burning brightly and came in and found Udiv and her sons huddled together in each other's arms, white and pale as death. Hogue asked the reason. Udiv said, Shh, shh. Are they gone? Shh. Keep them away. Then Booth spoke, saying, Oh, my brother, do not ask what we saw. Do not ask what we felt, or what felt us. These things would not be lawful to mention. Say no more in heaven's name. The air of heaven is full of demons, Druges. Now Vedi spoke, saying, Alas, O my father, I dropped the holy book, the Veda I am writing. In my fright, I let it fall. It is not seized yet, and if it rains before morning, the holy words will be lost, and not for 1,000 worlds will I go back to the grove tonight. Uz said, Nor I for 1,000 worlds. We had said, for all the gold and silver in the world, I would not go there tonight. They talking about our reality. See, in this sense, we're Hog. We ain't, startled. We don't see what spiritually, what's going on where we are. They all spoke in the same way except Hogue, and with all the love they bore for Ramazzi's words, not doubting they were his very words, not one would venture among the evil spirits they had seen to recover the book. Then Brahman spoke, saying, "For many generations Ramazzi has labored for this. I will go myself. I know he will protect me at all times and in all places." And Brahman rose up to depart. But then Hogue spoke, saying, "No, father, you are old. I am fresh and young. And besides, I know there are no spirits, but in the imagination of men, I will go alone." Hogue is going to go into that world that he doesn't see, that they see. "Neither will I carry a lantern or a torch, nor will I whistle or sing. I will confront all the evil spirits of hell and their captains. I will recover that book tonight, even if I have to scrape every leaf from Eben Grove. And mark my words, I will return unscathed, nor will I see or hear a spirit all the time I am gone." So only Hogue and Brahman were fearless. You know what? I get the idea he's pointing to fate that's here before we even get to the end of the account. It sounded to me like he's using Hogg to talk about Faithus. Just now coming to me. Hogg are Faithus in this account. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Hogg are Faithus. With that, Hogg departed, and after a while he returned rejoicing, bringing the book, and he said, I neither saw nor heard a spirit, and I declare to you that none of what you saw or heard from them, that none of you saw or heard them, for there are none. The extreme bent in your minds makes these imaginations seem real, and as to the great light with the words love, wisdom, and power, which I also saw, I say to you, it is some emanation from this, our holy and most loved Father. How often we have heard him use those same words. And as to those figures that talked and had semblance of men and women, even to the detail of their garments, I say to you all, they emanate from the same source, from our father Brahman. Now Udip spoke, saying, "Oh, happy unbelief, my son. If only I had been born as you. Oh, if only I had never seen such sights as I saw tonight." So the tables are being flipped now. He says, then Ooh said, "Oh, happy brother, our youngest born, if only I were like you, all the vulgarity of those hands that came upon me tonight." Ooh said, "Oh, if only I'd never seen the unseen world. Oh, if only I'd been born in darkness like you, our most favorite brother." I see something. You brother see something here? Wow, man, I see something. If we had been born in spirit, we'd have never seen unbelief. I mean, you know what I mean? We've never seen, we would never desired, we had never, we need to see in order to see, let me take a second so I can properly describe what I want to share. It's like the creator is saying, we are in this situation where we don't see the things that the spiritual sees. Now, there's something more to it, but I think the creator is showing us the blessing of being able to be on the earth, and while we don't witness, we cannot see the unseen world. We don't see the evil the way the spiritual sees it, but that allows us not to be paralyzed with fear, but to exercise faith, because it's like the evil spirits, they're like nothing to us. And so because of that, we are able to seek the Father. We don't have to run and go hide in a cave somewhere. Our inability to see the spiritual, the wickedness, the unseen, the evil spirits, it allow us to pursue our maturity, our elevation without fear. We go about because we don't know. We don't see it. And so the spiritual, they look at us like, man, you are brave going down there, being amongst them, recovering the book, bringing it back. Man, you are really, wow, you did that? You went down there? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You brother, correct me if I'm wrong, but this account seems to be showing us ourselves. Now, I could be wrong, man. You tell me. He says, similarly, the rest of them except Brahma spoke deploringly of their gift of Suis, and when they had finished speaking, the angel of God spoke through Brahma, saying, while it is yet night, I speak. With the dawn at sunrise comes the Father's voice. Hear me then briefly without expecting much wisdom, for I'm not long born in heaven. The Creator created two great men, the faithless and the unbeliever. The first has passed through the trials of the flesh and attained to the Father's voice. For becoming one with the Father, he no longer stands in fear of anything. And anything in heaven and earth. The glory of constant resurrection is before him forever. My goodness, man. Man. My goodness. My goodness. Wow. Man, oh man, oh man. Wow, I just can't get over that, man. I cannot get over that one. The Creator created two great men, the faithless and the unbeliever. The first has passed through the trials of the flesh. That's talking about us. And attained to the Father's voice. For in becoming one with the Father, he no longer stands in fear of anything in heaven or earth. The glory of constant resurrection is before him forever. It says, all men who have not attained to this may be compared to a man growing up a slippery hillside who often rises high but suddenly slides low. They glorify themselves for their own light, wisdom, good gifts, rejoicing for self's sake for the glories that have fallen upon them, but they are cowards. Wow! Wow, man. Is he calling the spirit, those who have not come to the earth, cowards? Is he saying those who have not passed through the trials of the flesh, cowards? All men who have not attained to this, talking about going through the trials of the flesh. It says the Creator created two great men, the faithless and the unbeliever. The first has passed through the trial. The faithless has passed through the trials of the flesh. The faithless. And the unbeliever. Hey, Nazarene, brother. Man, we are knocking it out of the park tonight, man. The Creator created two great men, the faithless and the unbeliever. He said the first, the faithless, has passed through the trials of the flesh and attained to the Father's voice. For in becoming one with the Father, he no longer stands in fear of anything in heaven or earth. The glory of constant resurrection is before him forever. He says, all men have not attained to this. All men who have not attained to this may be compared to a man going up a slippery hillside. He often rises high, but suddenly slides low. They glorify themselves for their own light, wisdom, and good gifts, rejoicing for self's sake, the glories that have fallen upon them. They are cowards. Seems to be that, let's look at it again, man. What have these men who have not attained, what have they not attained to? Okay. Now, in reading this account, it was those who were born that could have suis and sarges that they could see, but then Hog, who was not born in suis, and well, he had sarges, but he didn't have suis, and he couldn't see the light or spiritual things, but He couldn't see the spirits that they saw in the spiritual. So I think the Creator is showing us one of the benefits of being in the flesh. And then coming into to be able to hear his voice like through the OAHSPE. And then it seems to say that men who have not attained to this may be compared to a man going up a slippery hillside. He often rises high, but suddenly slides low. He says, they glorify themselves for their own light, wisdom, and good gifts, rejoicing for self's sake, for the glories that have fallen upon them, but they are cowards. Now, if you ask me, what comes to my mind is like the world, people who rejoice over maybe they're rich or famous, they have the world at their feet, but they don't go through, they don't have they don't pass the trials of the flesh. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, I could be wrong, man, That's what it sounds like to me. Let me see, Elijah, he says, to be able to achieve in hearing the Creator's voice, you have won an endless treasure. Okay. I see. I see. To be able to hear the Creator's voice, and that is passing the trials of the flesh. If you go through what you go through, and you can hear, if you can attain to the Father's voice. Now, what is the Father's voice? The leanings to do his will is all I can say. The OAHSPE is his voice. When your spirit is speaking and influencing you to walk in the way of the light of the commandments of his word, that's hearing the Father's voice. That's attaining to the Father's voice. That's becoming one with the Father. It says, and then when we cross over, we have no fear of anything in heaven or earth. I could be wrong, but that's what the best I can do right now. The glory of the constant resurrection is before him forever. Nevertheless, the Creator created a great man among these, and that is the unbelieving man. He has neither gold nor silver, nor house nor land, and he's without spiritual sight or spiritual hearing. But his glory is in understanding his own understand. Man, this, oh my goodness, man. Look at the Creator, man. Look at the Creator. Look at him, man. He says, nevertheless, the Creator created a great man among these, and that is the unbelieving man. He has neither gold, nor silver, nor house, nor land, and he is without spiritual sight or spiritual hearing, but his glory is in understanding his own understanding. He is one who subdues the forest, tames the beasts of the field. To man's service, he goes alone in the dark, fearing nothing. He does not follow the course of any man, but searches for himself. The priest cannot make him believe, nor can the angels of heaven. None can subdue his judgment. He sees the glory of the earth and manhood. He calls to the multitude, saying, why do you permit others, even priests, to think for you? Arise and be a man. Arise and be a woman. He inspires of the earth, and for the earth, through his arm, tyrants and evil kings are overthrown. Through him, doctrines and religions are sifted to the bottom, and the falsehood and evil in them cast aside. Yet who but our modesty, the Creator, could have created so great a man as the unbeliever? And these two men, the faithless and the unbeliever, do most of all the good that is done in the world. One labors at the top of the hill, calling upward. The other labors at the bottom of the hill, pushing upward. My goodness, man, this is an explosion. This is a explosion. I didn't read what I wanted to read, the title of the video. I'll do it, well, tomorrow's Bible study. Oh my goodness, man. You could say that they are atheists of the world who are against religion but have good hearts to do meaningful work. Exactly. That explains the world a lot, man. There are people good hearted. They may not believe, but they are good hearted, man. And the Creator, he says, they're my chosen too. It seemed the one thing that seemed to keep losing out in everything that we read and learn is stay away from the beast kingdom. Stay away from beast kingdom. Stay away from religion, man. It seems like everywhere you turn in the OAHSPE, the only constant warning is the beast king, is religion. It seems like that's the only warning that I see. I could be wrong, man. I mean, I wanted to read the part where I didn't read the part where it talks about what the Creator has to say about men who do evil to other men in this reality. Elijah says atheists are more in line with, yep. I mean, not all of them. It depends on, their actions do bespeak themselves too. I mean, in other words, their character, their fruits do testify. Atheists are more in line with the Creator for when they do a good work is meaningful, whereas religious person, yep, beautifully put, bro. Very well said, brother. That's what the Creator is saying here. See, the issue is the Aquarius thing, man. Serving your brother. Humanitarianism. It's I love it, man. The Creator is saying if you want to try to run the religion to do what only I can do, you deceive yourself. You deceive yourself. In some way or another, He's going to get to the sincerity of your motivations. And if it's not sincere, if it's not true, if you're not true to yourself, don't think that you can deceive me. You're going to go to really yourself. Yeah. Fits. That's why Jesus Christ washed feet. The narrative of Jesus Christ washing the disciples' feet. Yeah, I can see that. You man, I love it, man. All right, that will conclude a reading of this word. I'm telling you, I love it, man. Oh man, man, the Creator, He's saying, number one, don't question His ways. Don't question it, because you're gonna be made to look foolish. I mean, you might question it, but He knows what He's doing. It started out, the brother Hog, he seemed to be at the short end of the stick. He couldn't see spiritually. They could see. And then it came to pass that when it came time to retrieve the book that was written, it fell into the hands of the evil spirits. He couldn't see them. They ran when they saw the evil spirits into the cave. They huddled together. Hog said, "What's up with that? I don't see anything out there. Man, forget this. I'll go get the book myself." But did you see them demons, man? They at least 38 feet tall, man. You go, man, we're standing here, man, in this cave where it's safe. Hog said, "Oh, man, I didn't see nothing, man, First Brahmin said, "Let me go get the book." And then Hog said, "No, you too old. I'm going to go get it. I didn't see anything. Ain't nothing out there. Y'all dreaming." He goes out there. They see what they see. He sees what he sees. And you see how, and then it turns out that he had the more blessed gift. Now, all of his days, man, is can be spent not fearing anything in the spirit or on earth, ascending forever, man. And if the lower heavens was glorious, man, don't even talk about nirvana. You know what I'm saying? You see, that's where we're headed for. We in the trials of the flesh, we are able to hear his voice. The Creator said that if you can attain to it, if you're going through all that, and then you can still attain to hear his voice. If ever a brother was home free, that's you. If ever a brother was home free, man. But then the unbelieving man, he's in a position of blessing too. One is working from the top, one is working from the bottom, man. you know? Oh man, you killing me, man. You killing me. It's all good, man. It's all good, If it's just the one thing that I see, the one thing, man, the one thing is don't do deity worship. Now, I was going to read something tonight where the Creator said, don't think that I'm slipping. Don't think that I'm slipping, brother. You kill a man, you're going to pay for that. You kill 10 men, you're going to pay for that. It's like he keeps, he warns against that, warns against deity worship, idolatry. It's like he does say, you reap what you sow. And that's only fair. I mean, that is only fair. But he says, do you attain to hear this voice, even in the trials of the flesh that we are in right now? Brethren, we are in the trials of the flesh. He say you can still attain to hear my voice. It's all good. I'm telling you. Well, that's going to conclude the reading of this word, man. The space is opened up. If anyone wants to drop in a word or anything or share whatever about the reading or, man, that was, oh man, and I found that by mistake. I mean, there's really no mistake. You know what I mean? I mean, I was reading what I was planning to read on video, and I ended up coming across that. And the way it worked with the OAHSPE, you start reading something, and then you can't get off of it. And so that's what happened with that. So I'm telling you, man, Oh, I got Dave, man. All right, brother. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, how you doing there, brother?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Just fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man.
Oh,
loud
okay.
and clear.
There's something that you may have missed in the lesson.
Okay.
All right. You remember when Utiv and the other 6 sons were praising Creator?
Yeah.
And kind of thanked him for, the glorious heavens in the first resurrection.
Yeah.
You see? Now, when they went to Evan Grove that night, that same angel, right?
Mm-hmm.
He opened up the whole gate.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this tells you that not everyone in the first resurrection is spiritually adept, like Hogg's friend was, who we even seen in Sargis.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they were praising the full of the creation. They done forgot about the demons, the gormandizers, all those evil Juge spirits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see.
Mm-hmm.
And when they went to Eben Grove, those spirits scared the living heck right out of them. So that's why they
Yeah.
all went in.
Yeah.
They had a wrong view of the afterlife, and they
Yes.
kind of
A
needed a
wrong
little
view.
correction
Right.
in the
A
wisdom
wrong.
part. You see what I'm saying?
Right. 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 A wrong view. So the spirits that they saw were the first resurrection
Yeah.
who had not attained to hearing the Father's voice. Is that correct?
They hadn't even attained the first resurrection.
Okay. Now that makes sense.
They were they
So,
were
so,
they were Judas, right?
so they were shown hell.
Not so much in hell, but they was doing whatever they wanted to do, whenever they wanted to do it, however they wanted to do it.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
See,
Uh huh. Yeah.
Judas, the same that would fasten on to people,
Uh huh. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were like really evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
More
Mm-hmm.
like demons,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you see.
So they wanted to separate from them the Druges,
Yeah,
which is
but
understandable, but
you see the
but they were in Atmospheria then. They were shown. Then they were shown atmosphere. Well, now I'm trying to picture in my mind where the where the where this took place. Let me go back up because it doesn't really say about it's where this is taking. I have to. I mean, is it Atmospheria? Is it first, second, or third? Is it third resurrection? I'm trying to. Where is this taking place at? I mean, obviously, it wasn't taking place in the. I want to say the Atmospheria that's above the earth. So it was taking place in another realm. Does that sound right?
uh, it's taking
This
place
account. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's taking place in the hut where Brahma Yutiv and his siblings, Hog and all of them, where they all live, right? The
Mm-hmm.
angel that comes, right, first comes in Sargis, first comes in Suis, right? Hog can't hear him, can't see him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when he
Mm-hmm.
comes in Sargis, you still don't believe him because he says should be wispy, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, the angel says, "How can I please this guy?" I came in Suis, and he couldn't see me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I came in Sardis, and now he don't believe me,
Yeah.
right? So he says, "Well, y'all go to Evan Groves tonight, and I'll open up the gates of heaven." Right now, before then, you see, they were praising Creator for his glory.
The intermediate world. They
Yeah,
were in the intermediate world.
yeah,
That's Atmospheria above the earth.
yeah. Not from on earth all the way up through to the second resurrection.
Mm.
You see,
Mm-hmm.
there are various levels there, remember. You got the level that's closest to the earth, or that's on the earth, where such people like bankers go and check on their bank every day.
Yeah, dealers in wines and
Yeah,
high caste women and
yeah, and you got the lady
farmers.
in her mansion on the hill there,
Yeah,
right?
farmers.
Yeah, and they stay around and haunt those places, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're in spirit, but they don't realize they passed,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still concerned with material affairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then
So
you got
this is
some that are really bad. You know, the really bad drugs. You know,
mm-hmm.
like the uh, uh, say pedophiles, right, and the
Mm-hmm.
rapists,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what was bothering uh, the Utiv and her other sons, except for Hog and Brahma.
Mm-hmm.
Brahma knew that Creator, uh, nothing could hurt him because he was protected by Creator,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's
Mm-hmm.
why he didn't run.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Hog didn't run because he didn't see nothing to run from. You see?
Yeah.
Now, when they went back to the hut, and everybody was all huddled together saying, "Oh, keep them away, keep them away," right? And
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
Veed said, "Oh, I left my book in Evan Grove, and when I dropped it and ran. So I
Mm-hmm.
gotta go get that, but I ain't gonna go get it. Somebody else gonna go get it because I ain't going back to that grove tonight. Period. No way, right? None of them wanted to go. Brahma said he'd go because he knew that Creator would protect him, no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hog said, "No, no, you're old, right? And I'll go over there, and I ain't even going to take no light with me. I ain't going to whistle at the dark because there ain't nothing out there that ain't there in the daylight." So he went and got the book. You see.
Yeah, that was
So what I'm basically stressing is that you've also got demons, lost souls, and all manner of different spirits on the first resurrection. From the lowest that right on earth, on up to the second resurrection.
now let me ask you this. The ones who had sight, they never went through the trials of the flesh.
Oh, sure they did.
Now, why did they why couldn't now let me see. What is my question? They they ran from the reality of the opening of the gates and they saw the Druids.
Yeah.
But now help me to understand. Let me see. My question is Hog, he was able to attain to the Father's voice. And he there's well, I can't I got a question. I want to know how they're in the spiritual and they're afraid of anything and they had spiritual sight and Hog did, and they were afraid.
Well, all they saw was the good. They didn't see the Druges.
Well, they were on the earth, weren't they, at
Yeah.
one point?
Yeah, the Druges. Yeah,
The Brahmins,
Druges are
the
simply
Brahmins, the Brahmins. I mean, they, the seven sons or the six sons or and the daughter, or they were,
Utiv is Brahm's wife,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
she had 7 sons. 6 of
yeah,
them were Suis, right? Hog was
yeah,
neither, not Suis. He
yeah.
was simply a materialist, or maybe
Okay.
an atheist.
So they went through the flesh, but they didn't see the evil.
Correct.
Very interesting. Now that's very interesting.
What tells me that is because they praised. Okay, you remember a Hog's friend? What
Yeah,
was his name? Aragus or Ragus or something like that.
yeah. Arakata,
Yeah.
Araka.
All right. Now he was in the first resurrection, but he was off the earth. Right.
Right, right. Yeah.
You see, they paid no attention to the Jews or the druks and the demons who were right on the earth. You see,
Who?
they didn't even know they existed, from what I understand.
Who? The sons?
Yutif and her other 6 sons
Oh, okay. Okay.
didn't seem to realize that demons and drujas existed in the first resurrection period. She thought, like a lot of spiritualists say, and it's all good, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
hear that all the time. Oh, it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I say that a lot. Yeah.
Right. But a lot of times, no, it's not all good because you got those things you got to watch out for.
Right.
Such as Judas and those demons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they will get you if they can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see, that's basically all I wanted to.
Now, when you say they get you, they can. What do you mean?
They will get you if they can
And how will they get you if
through
they
your
can?
own tetracts.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
They
Well,
will
they do.
they will
I mean,
attach to those tetracts that are most like them, and thereby fasten on to you.
uh huh. Uh huh.
You
So when
see,
you
we
have
all
sewers,
attach
you can't even.
over flesh.
So when you're able to see spiritually, you don't see the Druges.
Oh yeah, you can see them if you got Suis.
I got something in my mind here. I mean, they saw the Druges. I'm calling them the Brahmins, and they got scared. But they lived in the flesh, and they reacted as if they'd never seen them before. Or did they see them differently? Did they see the Druges differently? Because you're saying that the sons were, I mean, they were products of Udiv and Brahmin, and
Correct.
they were Suis,
Yeah.
and they were in the flesh,
Correct.
and they seen the Druges, but then they act like they never seen them before.
I don't think they did see him at all before. that night at Eben Grove.
You say that they saw him differently
No, I said I don't think they ever saw a Jew.
in spirit form?
Correct.
Okay. So you can see him in fleshly form, but not in spiritual form.
Druks are those in physical form.
But Druges are in spiritual form?
Spiritual form of druks.
Okay, so we see the flesh, but not the spiritual.
Right.
Okay, because that makes sense. That makes sense. That does make sense. That does make sense to me. That we don't see the spiritual reality. Does that make
Well,
sense?
the only way you're going to see that spiritual reality is to be able to get out of the body.
Right. The brother says a good point here. Corrupt spirits can even mask their true form. Yeah. I think that if they revealed themselves to us as they are in the spirit, then um, we,
Yeah, they can mask their true form to a
yeah,
extent.
they wouldn't be able to draw anybody in their true form.
Well, like I've told you many times before. If a spirit comes to me saying this, that, or the other, right? I'm
Uh,
looking square right in his eyes because the eyes are
oh, okay. And what
soul.
color the eyes are?
Correct.
Oh, because and that's
If
why a
the
lot of celebrities wear
if
sunglasses at night.
that spirit has yellow eyes, he's lost, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
Which means he's looking for help, right? To be placed where he's supposed to be,
Uh-huh.
right? Now, if the eyes are red, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Uh,
depends on what shade of red. A very light red, right?
uh,
Now,
yeah.
he's a demon, but he's not a bad, you know. You can turn him, right?
Uh, yeah.
With the help of Creator
Now
and
you make
his
a very
Asaph, right? And
uh-huh.
your Asaph and Ashar's. You can turn him if he's light red. Now, if he's
Uh,
dark red eyes, you ain't going to turn him, and he's going to try to turn you if he can.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Does the OAHSPE speak on any of this?
No, you've got to go out there to see it for yourself,
Uh-huh.
right?
Well, I mean, I'm glad you're telling me.
That's how I personally see the difference,
Uh-huh.
right? Now, any spirit that has blue eyes, right? They're for Creator. They're usually second resurrection and above. But I can only go so high, right?
Uh-huh.
I can't go very much higher than I'd say Yatante before my faults start showing up, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Those above me are white, right? They are pure light,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Just like Hogg's friend said, right? Can't go
Right.
beyond a certain level,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because he's not comfortable up there because they're telling him, well, you should have worked more on yourself, right? That pity factor, right? That's a
Uh-huh.
vibration that I don't really care for, even though it's there. Right. So I got to, back it down. I got to stay within my jurisdiction, you might say.
Right, right. That's pretty heavy, man. Hey, before you go, let me share with you something that came to my mind when you were speaking. In the Bible, it says that it talked about red eyes. And I found this in Proverbs. And it talks about the redness of eyes. It says, you think that that's talking about spiritual demons? It's talking about they that tarry long at the wine and seek mixed wine. Look not upon the wine when it's red, when it giveth its color. You know, well, because it says that Jesus Christ, his eyes were as a flame of fire. You could theorize that that could mean red, or it even says that red as if he had, or he was. Let me see. Jesus. I remember when I was a Hebrew Israelite, they used to talk about his eyes were red because he liked to drink wine. Do you think that could somehow refer to the narrative of Jesus Christ?
I'm thinking that's more or less referring to what you may call bloodshot eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm talking
Of
about. Yeah,
a person who indulged too much in
yeah. Well,
alcohol.
that's different. Okay, that's different then. That's
Yeah.
not. That's not spiritual. Yeah. Okay, I get it. I get it. Man, that was heavy. Boy, that was. Thanks for the clarification, bro.
I mean that's what I see.
Well, the color of the eyes.
In that verse you've got up there.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Yeah, that's talking about bloodshot eyes, and it what you said made me think of the fact that it says his. Well, they used to say his eyes were red from drinking wine, but that's not the same thing as spiritual. The demons and the color of their eyes, and I believe that. I remember, I think Asnath was talking about why they wear sunglasses at night. They're famous for wearing sunglasses at night. Some celebrities,
Yeah.
because or I think you said it, and you were talking about how they don't want you to see their eyes would be a dead giveaway.
Yeah. I said that, and I believe that Sister Asnath, backed me up on it,
Yeah, yeah.
or somewhere like that. She may have said it, and I backed her up on it,
Uh
or
huh.
vice versa. I'm not
Right,
sure exactly, which one said it first, but
right,
I'm
right,
willing to go either way because I know that we backed each other up on that.
right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So that's very interesting. The demons, they can mask. I think that everybody, yeah, I think most people know that, but to read it, and it kind of brings it back that we don't see spiritually. Well, we just don't see the spiritual world. I don't think there would be any problem trying to reject the evil if we could see the spiritual world. You agree?
Well, like I say, before you go out of the body, you've got to conquer fear.
Uh huh.
Because those Druges, like the ones in Evan Grove, will try to keep you bound to the body,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because they don't want you out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know that if you get out there, you realize Creator, right, and Creator's power, and you make yourself part and parcel of Creator and His power
Right.
through
Right.
you,
Right.
then they know they're in trouble.
Right.
Now,
Hey,
you know
Dave.
you ain't gonna go and grab them by the neck and force them to do
Right.
anything. It's
Right.
not Creator's way, right?
Right.
So they'll try to either capture you, like they did me one time,
They try to what?
capturing me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Remember I told you about that? There was about
I
50,
vaguely,
60 of them
yeah.
that grabbed me and stuck me in a bag,
I
right?
vaguely, yeah. Yeah.
And what I did is I just called uh, angels and invited them into the bag. They called more angels and more angels, right? 10,
Uh,
10 times 10 times 10 times 10, right?
uh-huh.
Quick, they couldn't hold that bag anymore, right?
Uh-huh.
Against 10,000 angels in that bag, and they got like 60 of them trying to hold it.
Mm.
Thing
And then
just
some.
burst right open, and they fled.
Hey, while you're talking, I wanted to show you that post that Fritz sent me about the Wizard of Oz.
Sure.
I wanted to. I'm looking for it right now, but I can't find it. It was. I had read the narrative on the Wizard of Oz a long time ago, and he resent it to me. I was wondering if you ever seen it about the narrative about the Wizard of Oz and how
No,
re-
I
really.
don't believe I've seen the narrative, but
I believe
I've seen
you
the
must have
movie
seen it at some
Wizard
point.
of Oz a couple of
I'm willing
times.
to bet you. I'm willing to bet you saw what I saw. You saw the narrative of it, of the Wizard of Oz. I know you've seen it. It had something to do with the explanation behind the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, Dorothy, Total the dog, the Scarecrow, and basically how the story behind it is the story of the dominion of the elite over the populace. Each one represented a segment of the population. The Tin Man,
Hmm.
even Toto the dog, the wizard. And I was looking for it, but I couldn't. I was looking for it right now to show it to you. I couldn't find it, but I think you get a kick out of it if you read it. I'll send when I find it. I'm gonna send it to you. So
Okay.
I think you're gonna get a kick out of it. I think he might be sending it to me now. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, he's trying to send it to me. Hold on a second. Oh, all right, it won't. Hey Fritz, it won't let it go through for some reason. Because most likely because they don't want Dave to see it. But when I get it, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna go back and look for it, Fritz, and then I'm gonna send it to Dave. I think you're gonna get a kick out of it. All right, brother. I guess I'm gonna close up shop, man. I'll
Okie
let you
dokie.
get back. Thanks for checking in, brother. Appreciate it.
You
Thanks for the
have
explanation.
you have a good one now.
Okay, brother.
Bye
Take
bye.
care. All right. Let me do my sign of Jehovah there. All right, brother. Thanks a lot, Dave. See you later. Okay, brethren. Man, thank you, Creator, for that word. That blessed my soul. Like, this was one of the more powerful studies. This was really, I came across that by mistake, too, on Hog. Grace and peace, Elijah. Good to see you, brother. See you later. Thank you, Creator. Thank you. Make me a better person. Send me the angel to make me a better person and my brethren for your world. Like Brahman prayed and was blessed by your answer. to that prayer. Brethren, no video tomorrow. I'm going to be in Bible study, so I'll pick it up Thursday, Creator willing. Thanks for joining me, and until I see you again on video, peace, love, light, blessing be to you all. Shalom.